Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. In this video I'm going to talk about energy tools. To start off with generally, but then we're going to get into some specific types of energy tools too. And what I see as a quantum healer, working with other healers as well, and their modalities. Again, we're just drawn and resonated to certain modalities and ways of healing that just resonate to us, and everyone's going to be different and unique in regards to that. And so I see people that are very much into the big energy tools and doing clearings on themselves or clearings on their loved ones or so on, and regularly doing that. And there's a lot of benefit in regards to that. After all, I have Truly Holistic, where I have clients and we use a chart system where we can find specific answers and information of why somebody's got a health problem, why they're not able to manifest things in their life, and so on. And we use that system in regards to using energy tools to amplify my intent to then make that clearing happen. So I get it. I get that. And all of a sudden, when my awareness and my focus shifted on, okay, well, I need to understand reality, I started to look at how we should grow and evolve, which is that word Ascension, right? And I know that there was this universal law that was coming through, that all consciousness must evolve. Okay, so all consciousness must ascend, right? That's every single one of us. Our purpose here is to ascend, is to grow and evolve, right? And I guess we use the word grow and evolve because we hear that word ascension thrown out there a lot within the consciousness spirituality communities, but more on the people that are not so aware plane of existence. We're always wanting to grow in our field, right? Whether that's what we do for our work or what we just are passionate about, personal growth and just to evolve. It means the same thing, right? Ascension, to grow, to evolve. All of a sudden, I started to look at not only being a distributor of products, and I've got some beautiful products from the Krystaline Incorporated range from a guy called Wayne Gados. But I really I had a lot of ideas coming through, being channeled through to me, and that really made me kind of be drawn into making energy tools myself. So I really got into that, and a big aspect of making the energy tools was more making things that were pendants and bracelets, also making tensor rings. Within the Krystaline Incorporated range, you've got neutralization rings, sun rings, divinity rings. And then all of a sudden I got into twisting copper wire and cutting it to a particular measurement, which we call a Cubit measurement, to make a tensor ring, which would create a tensor field. And what I noticed with myself, because I'm the biggest guinea pig of all, I'm going to test it on me, test it on my family and my loved ones and friends and so on. And we go through that process and we see the dramatic shifts in what we feel and what happens, and then we bring them to you for you to purchase as well and to incorporate that in your life. And what I've found with my experience, as well as the people that have bought the products, is that the products that have really evolved people's consciousness more than anything have been these personal items, as bracelets and pendants. And usually these are the things that are the smallest, and also the probably most cost effective. They're the cheapest to buy for a majority of people. Now, why they're so powerful is because when we're creating a tensor ring or using a Cubit measurement, that is anchoring a specific frequency or a spectrum of frequencies that will affect your auric field 24/7, especially if you're wearing a pendant day and night, wearing a bracelet all day and also all night. It's going to have an effect on you. And the cool thing about these bracelets and pendants, and why they're working so well to evolve you consciously, is that you don't need to use intention with them. You don't need to keep your place of attention for them to work. They'll just work. Okay, and why I love that is because, and why there's such a polarity to that example compared to just having to do clearings every day on you, is that when you're doing the clearing work, you need your place of attention on your work. You need to use intention. And sometimes that can take you away from the life that you want to actually go and live it and live out, right? So when you incorporate these, and a lot of people that do the clearing work, they clear all that stuff out. But notice that all of a sudden the next day they have to clear more, or in the next few days have to clear up more. Well, when you wear these bracelets, where you wear these pendants which anchor this frequency in, it's going to keep your vibration high, so it's going to keep you clean, right? The work that you've done with your clearing work is going to be maintained, right? So you're going to maintain that high vibration by anchoring in that frequency that the bracelets and the pendants give. And that's why I love the whole aspect of tools that created a tensor field or anchored a spectrum of frequencies in. Now that kind of connects into Slim Sperling's work, right, in the early 90s, where he brought the whole idea of a tensor field created by a tensor ring, and the Royal Sacred Cubit, the Lost Cubit, Empowerment Cubit, and these Cubit measurements. Now these Cubit measurements brought through a specific frequency. So Royal Sacred 144, Lost Cubit 177, Empowerment Cubit 188. And I kind of ran with that. Again, I'm always getting downloads of information coming through, and when you really apply yourself in a field and you show that you've got some real interest into it and you're excited about it, then your higher aspects of self, if you're in tune with them and connected with them, they're going to help you out. They noticed that I was interested in this, and they gave me these new Cubit measures to create tensor rings that weren't bringing a specific Cubit, a specific frequency through, but a spectrum of frequencies. And why I liked that more was it would give you a bunch of frequencies through, and the intelligence of that Cubit measure would bring through the specific frequency that you need at that particular time. Because energy is always shifting, and it depends on where your place of attention lies and what's challenging your life at the time. You're going to require different frequencies, a bit like from day to day, you're going to require different nutrients or different minerals or different elements, right? Depending on the stresses in your life or how stressed you are, or so on. One day is different to the other day, right? Your emotional expression, so you might be leaking energy, you might be charging your energy by doing something that you love. So you're going to require different frequencies on each different day. And there is that connection, what I just mentioned there, with when we're wanting nutrients, right, from our food, from our water, is that those minerals, the whole idea of a multi-mineral supplement is because it's allowing us a full spectrum of minerals, okay? And that's directly connected to how we look at energy medicine, right? Or the quantum energetic field, is that there is a spectrum, plethora of frequencies. And we want all of them. We want as much as we want because we're holistic, right? And we want the whole bunch, not just one, like a lot of the Cubit measures were bringing through. So when we use these new tensor rings, which bring through a spectrum of frequencies, we started off with a Cubit measure called the activation Cubit. And that was bringing an upgrade into frequencies that existed outside of this reality. And then we moved on to other Cubit measures. And I want to make a special connection to what we call the Ascension Cubit. Okay, for anybody that's bought products of mine, with the word Ascension Cubit is this is a particular cubit measure that brings through all cubit measures, all frequencies, okay, the whole spectrum, okay, because the whole idea of the Ascension Cubit is it's anchoring in the frequencies from your source self, okay, so the word source is the origin of you, right, the genesis of you. So when we get to biblical terms in regards to the Bible, when they talk about the Genesis, and that's where religion came from. Religion originated from consciousness until it came into this duality and it got all divided into all these different religions. Just like we've got different races, different countries, different languages, which creates conflict because one person's saying one's better than the other. But that's what duality, that's how duality affected consciousness. But the origin, the genesis of consciousness exists outside of this reality, outside of this duality plane. And this Ascension Cubit allows to anchor that in. So that's the ring there, is made with the Ascension Cubit, okay? So this is a cubit measure that has all cubit measures within it. The full spectrum of light, if you want to use that medium in regards to vibration and frequency, okay? And we've made a number of tools with this particular cubit measure, okay? And I guess a question to be asked is, why do we have the other cubit measures or the other tools made from other cubit measures if they don't have all the spectrum in it? Well, that's a great question. Is because we don't just go from maybe using the Royal Sacred Cubit, say 144, or if we haven't been used to any of this higher spectrum that exists outside of this reality, and just jump to having all the frequencies, because it will not be compatible with you. There is a process involved where you need to be gentle with yourself. I'm going to give you an example of this. Is I made with pure silver, a pendant made of the Ascension Cubit, and this is it exactly here. It's made with pure silver. And this cubit measure actually works really well with silver. A lot of the cubit measures that we use is, doesn't matter whether you use them with silver or copper, they're just as powerful. But with this particular cubit measure, it's a little bit more powerful when it's anchored with silver compared to copper. Again, it's probably 4 or 5% extra. It's just the icing on the cake with the silver compared to the copper. The copper still brings through those frequencies well, just extra with the silver, right? Anyway, I put this, this is not on my website, on my product page, just because I like to douse to find out what is compatible with you. For this reason, I'm just going to mention it now. A client of mine noticed that I was wearing this, and she was very much liking this because she was wanting a piece of jewelry. She wasn't just wanting it for the energy, but she wanted something to look good, and she liked the silver. She didn't really like the copper so much, right? So I kind of warned her. I kind of said, well, you're not ready for this, okay? But no, she was hesitant. She was sure that she wanted this. So she purchased this from me. And then within a few days' time, I got a message from her saying, what the hell is going on? I'm so emotional and there's so much coming through me. She knows a huge change. And that was because this was essentially creating a healing crisis within it, because things were shifting so fast that she wasn't compatible to kind of take that shift on. So, we don't want that effect to happen to people. So we want to make sure that this cubit measure is the right one for you. So that's why we have these other cubit measures, the activation, the gateway cubit, because these tools are training wheels for you to become the tool yourself, where you won't even need any physical tools. Okay, and there's a process involved, and that's why we have the activation, we have the gateway cubit, because there's a process involved until you become compatible to be within all frequencies that this cubit measure enables. So obviously we make rings, several different sizes of rings made with that cubit measure. This ring goes into making our ascendant tool, Okay, so that's we've got 7 of the Ascension Cubit rings here that make up what we call the Ascendant. Okay, and I'm not going to go into great detail about this tool. We've got another video about the Ascendant in particular. It's a very special tool where it connects you to your higher aspects of yourself in a very profound way. We make that in 2 different measurements, so a smaller one and a bigger one. Smaller one because it's a lot more compatible. You can place it in your pocket, carry it around with you. This one's a little bit more of a practitioner model where you can work on the body with it. We also make an Ascension wand, which acts as a pendant as well. You can wear it as a pendant. And you can, we use, this is the tool we put with the intuitively alignment system, which is working on mechanical alignment, realigning your back, your neck, and those sorts of things. Why we particularly use the Ascension Cubit for that? Because this connects you to your source, and I always really recommend when you're dowsing, that you can use this as well to use as your pendulum, because it's not going to be interfered with, because it's a direct connection to your source self. Nothing's going to interfere with that tensor field that creates. Okay, and also it works really well with intent. You can just place the intent with this and it works really well. And obviously when you're not using it that way, you can just wear it as place it around your neck. You've got that there, so you're anchoring in the frequencies which are going to help you evolve and grow and ascend, because it's it's within your field. You've got it on the body, so that's kind of got a dual purpose, that particular wand. We also have got a limited we've only got a few left of this, of a beautiful clasp bracelet made of pure silver, made with the Ascension Cubit as well. Beautiful bracelet. So we can make that in copper too, but we do have them in silver just because it gives it that little bit of 4 or 5% more. As I say, we make a pendant as well with the silver, but also we can make that with the copper too. Obviously the silver's a lot more expensive to buy. And we're also getting into making straight cubit measures. This is a tool that I haven't put on my website yet, which I'm just playing around with, which is a wand. And you'll notice it's made with 2 metals, so brass and also copper, and also the 2 different measurements. So that the brass measurement is the Ascension cubit measurement, and this is also an infinite cubit measurement, which is another cubit measure that's come through. This wand enables you to place the intent or wand an area. So for example, you are wanting to wand someone distantly. You just place your attention on where you want the wand in that area. So what you're doing is you're rotating anti-clockwise to transmute the field, then clockwise to charge that area. You can do that for your neck. You just go like that to change the structure, and then once that's done, then you do it the other way to charge it. Okay, with that broad spectrum of frequency that Ascension Cubit brings through. As I say, it holds all cubit measures. Now that bit there, the infinite cubit, allows you to infinitely have an effect on infinite measurement over this whole plane. Doesn't matter where you. So what that does, it allows distant healing to be very powerful. Okay, so it's a beautiful combination of those 2 together, also with the orgone effect of the 2 different metals, the copper and the brass. And that will be probably coming out very soon. Comment below if you're interested in that wand. Also, we're working on other ideas, so this is a current pendant that I'm using for myself. The whole ideology of the twisted wire compared to the straight cubit measurement is the difference between neutrality and duality. If we're very much still a big part of this duality reality, we need the twisted copper to anchor those frequencies outside of this reality into the duality. When we get into the straight cubit measures where we're not having it twisted, we give that to people that are more based in the neutrality field, not so much the duality more. And with not the emphasis of trying to anchor it in so much. You're just focusing that energy more. So for this one, the straight cubit measurement, it's more about focusing that energy coming through with that cubit measurement. Or with this one, which is twisted, it's more about anchoring it in. But we'll do a video about that in another time. So going back to, again, as I say, those big powerful tools are fantastic. Another downfall of having a big tool is you've got to pick it up and put it down somewhere. You can't carry it around with you. It's not convenient to take around with you whenever you need it. And so therefore it can't be part of your field all the time. Okay? So what I've found with the bigger tools is they're very good, but quite often they can sit up and collect dust. Where the little tools, and that's why, as you see, these tools are very small, because you can place it in your pocket, that you can carry it around with you. The cool thing when you're not using it, and it's in your pocket, or it's a pendant or a bracelet, it's still within your field, so it's still having an effect on you, even though, as I say, you're not using intent with it, you're not placing your attention on it. And that's cool, because even though when you're not using intention, it's still working on you. Okay, it's still having a healing effect for you. So, and that's the benefit of these smaller tools. So, as I said, my involvement, has progressed so much because of pendants, because of bracelets, because of wands like this that you can also use as a pendant, because it's working on you all the time. Okay, and these things are usually a lot cheaper, but I found more benefit with them than the whole approach of having to clear myself out. One thing I noticed was I was someone that you always had to, and a lot of healers get this, right? You're working on other people when you can often uptake that negative field that's coming off your clients. You want to, and there's the emphasis of protection. Now, and then you have to spend a lot of time clearing yourself as well. Well, when you're wearing these tools in your field, it's protecting you because it's keeping your vibration high. So what I noticed when I started to wear pendants, bracelets, and those sorts of things, using this form of technology, I didn't have to clear myself so much. I didn't. So therefore, I had more time to do other things that I wanted to do, what I wanted to create in my life, instead of having to just continuously clear myself. So that's another benefit of these smaller tools, the personal bracelets, pendants, and so on, and wands. And it allows to create that space, because there's a big part of the space that we create, whether it's pro-healing or not, or procreating or not. So that brings into manifestation, right? Manifesting the things you want to manifest. And these tools enable a space, or allow you to create a space for yourself that can allow healing and can allow creation. So therefore manifestation, okay? So they're wonderful tools. And that's why I wanted to do this post, because I think a lot of people just think big tools, big energy. But we've got to look at the convenience of this. And the thing with these bracelets, pendants, wands, is you're going to get more use out of them. And because they're on you, you can just charge your food with it, charge your water with it, take it to bed with you. It's going to be within your field, so it's going to be working on you while you're asleep. So sometimes you can't do that with big tools, pyramid tools, or just really big tools. For example, I love my big tools like this, my sun ring and so on. But the thing is, I can't carry this around with me everywhere. Okay? It work if I'm within the field of it. But you know what I mean. Another system I'm really encouraging at the moment is a system I've created called the broadcasting system, using that particular tool, but the smaller variety, the 4-inch tool that's made by, as I say, Krystaline Incorporated by Wayne Gados. And why I love the smaller one, again, it's more convenient. For a woman, you can place it in your purse. It's a lot easier to use. And what I've found is the smaller the tool, the more you use it, and the less time it will collect dust on the shelf. And this is a wonderful tool, and it has instructions on the back. But this tool is infinite in regards to its abilities. You can do anything, because this is a broadcaster. and you can place intention notes. So you can this allows you to create. And at the moment, we're at a time, we're in Ascension right now. Look at the world events. Everything's changing, okay? And we may think all this change is bad, but change means things like this mean change, and we need change. As I said, the universal law is consciousness must evolve, and to evolve, you must change. So the changes we're seeing at the moment on this duality plane are being affected at a quantum level because everything happens there first, okay, at the quantum. And so there's no better time to get into learning how to create, okay, and at a quantum level. And this tool does a wonderful job with it. Now, the system that I've created with it is you get an instruction booklet on how to use the tool to its full potential. So there's a whole lot of pages within here that teaches you how to do that. Also teaches you to become more intuitive, learn how to dowse with a pendulum, learn how to use dowsing rods, learn how to use muscle testing. So it's going to teach you to become more intuitive. It's also going to teach you how to listen to the body, why you have symptoms. Symptoms are communications of the body. So instead of kind of cursing your body because you're getting symptoms from, you're going to learn to listen to the body, because the body is there to guide you and help you. It's consciousness seeping through your body to try and communicate. You're also going to get a whole lot of pendulum charts that tell you, what herbs you need, what minerals needed, what deficiency do you have. And you can use a supplement, but if you don't have it, write it on a piece of paper. Place it in the sun ray. As I say, all you need after the guidance of learning your intuition capabilities, doing the detective work on the charts to find out what you need or what you may need to kill an ailment, whether it's a medicinal herb or a superfood or use some form of crystal energy. This will tell you. Once you've done all that, all you need is a pen, piece of paper, and this lovely tool here, and it will do the rest. Okay? If you don't have milk thistle, write it on a piece of paper, place it in the sun ring, place it over the sun ring. You will feel your sun ring starting to detox. Even though the physical milk thistle herb's not there. All you did was write it on a piece of paper. It's just endless, the capabilities. And again, small tool, pen, paper, you can put that in your back pocket. It's very convenient, and therefore you'll get full use. You can use this in the bathroom. I use this in the bathroom when I'm in the shower. I write coconut oil on the piece of paper, place it in here, and I can feel the softness, the moisturization of my skin. It's soft because of that coconut oil intent, even though I'm not using the physical coconut oil. Okay, at night when I want to relax, I find out a crystal that, again, I don't have the crystal. I write it on a piece of paper. I find out with this chart system what crystal I need, write it on a piece of paper, put it in the chart, and it broadcasts that energy of that crystal, even though I don't have the physical crystal, into that room. Okay? If I find I'm deficient magnesium, write it on a piece of paper, find an area where you want to place it, or just place it in the room, and you absorb magnesium. Place your plate of food over it. It will place the vibration frequency of magnesium in the food. So it's just endless, okay? With the system, you can find out what organ needs cleansing. And as I say, then you can either Google search, or you can find in the system what herb, what mineral, what supplement is best to cleanse that organ. Write it on a piece of paper if you don't have the physical thing, and place it over the organ. It's easy as that. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. I wanted to share. You can see the excitement of that system alone, but also all these products. We talked about the Ascension Cubit. A Cubit that holds all Cubit measures, the whole spectrum of frequencies, all the way from your source self. And all these little tools, bracelets, pendants, wands that are more convenient, but they wallop some power, okay? They have a wallop of power to them, even though they're small little devices. Because the smaller, the more convenient to use. And we have all these products. If you're interested in buying one of these products, go to my website at trulyholistic.net, trulyholistic.net. Go to my product page and you'll see the systems that I sell, including the broadcasting system, the intuitively alignment system, work on where you can align your own neck and back just through intent alone. How cool is that? You become your own healer. You become empowered to do your own healing. You take the responsibility of healing yourself and connecting back to self, which this Ascension Cubit does, which all these wonderful tools do. So get going and having a look at my tools on my product site. Until next time.